Brother Larry back out in the community. Conversations. So, brother, we were talking about this Pavlovian effect that seems to be occurring between the youth when they encounter each other as they move throughout the city. And you were saying that,
Well, I say like it's similar to like what happens when you have like a dog when you're surrounded by other human when you're surrounded by human beings. Surrounded by human beings, he's fine. He's walking, he's having a good time, and then he sees another dog. All of a sudden, he starts growling. And that's how it seems to me sometimes. How we as black people we interact with each other. We're walking in the city, whatever, surrounded by white people, we're fine. We see another black person, all of a sudden we're thugging, and we got the mugging, and all this other stuff. So, it's sad.
the facade comes out. Yeah, it's a facade. You can't look soft. You can't be perceived as soft. It's pretense. That's why they all wear their pants hanging down.
Yeah.
Pull their pants up. I talk to some of them sometimes, the youth. I say, pull your pants up. Don't you know? I say, look, I'm not telling you to pull your pants up because society says you should dress a certain way.
Right.
I'm telling you to pull your pants up because if you're not gay, you're advertising.
You're advertising, yes, pretty much.
There are homosexuals walking around the city. Now, we know this. I mean, you don't have to consciously like say, oh, that's a homo, oh, that's a homo, but you know that they're there, right? If you know that they're there, especially in Manhattan,
Right.
if you know that they're there and you're walking around with your pants hanging off your behind, what do you think the homosexual's gonna look at? The young man with his pants up or the young man with his pants
Well,
down?
the guy, men they look at women's cleavage, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like cleavage itself. Like
Yeah.
the back of the ass.
Okay.
Where do you think that comes from?
Well, you mean the pulling the pants down?
Yeah, wearing the pants running behind it.
There's different theories, right? I can tell you my personal experience. The first person that I ever seen wear their pants like that was a homosexual on Rikers Island in the 1970s, right? He went upstate. Now, remember, I spent 25 years up there, so I didn't see the transition. The dudes coming home from prison, bringing that shit home from prison. But you got guys who will tell you that it's because they took your belt away.
I heard about that. Yeah.
It's not true.
Right.
It's not true. It's not true.
They took the belt away because
It's
they
not
prevent, like,
true.
suicide and
It's
stuff.
not true. That shit don't come from you not having a belt in jail. Because in New York State Prison, they give you pants with elastic in them shits. So your pants do not sag.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In order for your pants to sag, you gotta have pants on that don't fit.
Right.
Because the pants that fit, they snap
But it's so
and they're
funny.
elastic.
It's funny, because in the entertainment industry, right? You have all these cartels. You got the homosexuals; they have their own cartels. In the
Yeah.
industry. So you don't think they're influencing like the trends?
Of course, but see, now I was about to get to that, right? How it's spreading and maintained is through entertainers, right? They give them clothes to wear.
Absolutely.
Remember, your designers, right?
Oh, homosexuals.
Most of your designers are gay white males, right? So now, if you have a gay white male designing clothes, right? What kind of clothes is a gay white male going to design? Clothes that a gay white male like.
Right.
If he's making clothes for a man, what he gonna make clothes? He gonna make clothes that he like to see a man in, right?
Show off
Those
his
would
ass
be
and shit, right.
clothes that form fit, expose you. They homosexuals, right? So now, and you see these young black dudes walking around dressed like these young white guys, right? Now, I don't really comment on fashion shit. That's not my concern because that's not my focus, and I don't think fashion is what is going to be the deciding factor on whether we survive or not as a people, right?
But it's not helping.
Well, I think that when we decide that we need to control the industries that we patronize the most, I think then those market trends that we tend to exhibit will turn in our favor. But as long as we engage in activity that enriches others, right? No, well, those trends tend to hurt us. Like the cosmetic industry, the artificial hair industry that our women participate in, right? Is dominated by Asians, specifically Koreans. You know? Now I have a friend of mine. He got into that business, right? And he's moving along in it.
Well, can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we have the entertainment industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
It consists of like fashion, film, television, sports, you know, and the people who run these things are, you know, they're white guys, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not just white guys, homosexual white guys.
Mm-hmm.
You got people like 50 Cent who are perpetrating this to me it's almost like a perpetrating a fraud, because you know in his videos he talks a lot about, you know, popping bottles and you know, smoking weed and all this shit, right? And in reality, he doesn't smoke, doesn't even smoke cigarettes, doesn't smoke cigarettes, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke weed, doesn't go to the club. It's all about making money for this guy, you know.
So, in other words, he's an entertainer.
Yeah, you know, and he's and you know, and these, you know, the people in power, these white people, these white homosexuals, you know, the homosexual cartel, they're telling him what to do and how to go about doing it. These motherfuckers spend millions of dollars, you know, researching trends and you know, speaking to psychiatrists and psychologists and stuff like that. You know, they know how to go around it. They know how to fuck with your mind. You know.
Listen,
Jay-Z, he doesn't smoke. You know.
Well, I would actually, you know, I tell you, in all honesty, I would be disappointed in Jay-Z and 50 Cent if they smoked weed.
Yeah.
I would be disappointed in Jay-Z and 50 Cent if they act the way that they portray themselves in videos and in rap songs. I would be disappointed in them if they were not acting. You understand? The fact that I know they're acting is the only reason that I respect them. What I don't respect about them is that they know that they are children who emulate that shit and they're not acting.
Right.
You understand?
Which makes him the worst kind of hypocrite.
My man, they don't let children know that this is entertainment for entertainment purposes only. You understand? This is not our culture. This is a exaggeration of our culture to sell to white people because white people like it.
What about the white people majority, the ones who buy the fucking, you know, the music?
Of course. Well, sure. Black people buy bootleg.
Yeah. Well,
That's why there's a thriving bootleg industry, courtesy of our Continental brothers. Listen, man. Listen. I'm going to keep it real with you, right? See, people don't like to hear me talk like this, right?
but it's true.
But look.
It's the same thing what happened to Bill Cosby, right? It's the same shit that happened to Bill Cosby. He was telling the truth, and people villainized him in the media because he was telling the fucking truth.
Listen to this, right? When you wanna talk about corrupt schemes and shit like that, you would think that we over here, having been around these white people for so long, would have, you know, become criminal masters or some shit, right? Man, black people in America are some of the most inept criminals that you'll find anywhere.
What's the difference between like the Latin Kings?
No, man, listen.
The Latin Kings, the Bloods, the Crips, as opposed to like the other mafia.
No, not even close. Listen to this, right? What I'm talking about is when you look at supposedly, you can even hear idiots making videos on YouTube that are supposedly black like us, talking about we commit the most crimes, right? When you look at criminal behavior, right? Black people over here are not criminals. They don't even know how to fucking be criminals. When you see a few of us, right? And I'll include myself because when I was younger, I was involved in some criminal enterprise. You understand? A few of us become criminals. We learn that shit from real criminals.
But the thing is, I mean, to become...
No, hear me out. No, hear me out. We learn that shit from real criminals. But when people come here from different parts of the world, I'm talking about, I don't know, Nigeria, right? And when they engage in crime, they engage in crime like white people engage in crime. They be trying to defraud millions of people out of billions of dollars. You understand? Here it is when the people here who they accuse of being so criminal engage in crime. What are you trying to steal a ham or a ham sandwich? You understand? Get locked up for two or three.
It's not organized. It's not
Not
organized.
not only is it not organized, brother, it's not really criminal. It is the
But
desperate. It is the desperate acts.
It's a criminal act, brought up.
No, I
it's
think
more like, it's more like out of a sense of necessity.
no, I think
that a
it's
lot
the
of these people-
criminalization of the behavior of a people. You understand? There's a difference between a people being criminal and a people's behavior being criminalized. They have criminalized. Look, a few years ago, 20s, 30s, right? We had the number rackets in the city, right? Black people playing little bets for nothing, pennies, quarters, dollars, right? They criminalized that, right? Started a war over it too. That was Bumpy Johnson, Dutch Schultz,
Bumpy Johnson, yeah,
right?
yeah, right.
So now, your lotto, that's what that is. So now you see lotto in every store, making billions of dollars, right? That business was taken away. That's what they were doing.
Making good money doing that.
But what I'm saying
You
is,
have people in Harlem who are multimillionaires.
what I'm saying is, they criminalize their behavior. That don't make the people criminals. You understand? Because now you see the same
Wait a
behavior.
second, I mean, running numbers is against the law, though, right?
Yes, it was made to be against the law, brother, because
Well,
that's
so you
what.
said initially it wasn't against the law.
No. Why would it be? Who you hurting? Who you hurting betting a quarter and winning back $1.50? Who you hurting? You understand? What I'm saying is that if you criminalize the behavior of the people, eventually you will make the people criminals.
So the majority of they say like the majority of blacks in the city are incarcerated, right?
No, the majority of blacks in the city are incarcerated.
Yeah.
No,
Black men. The majority
No.
of black men in the city is incarcerated.
no, that's propaganda. Listen, first of all, there's
I came.
no.
I
Listen,
grew up, let me just finish this. I grew up in the South Bronx.
Okay.
One of the worst neighborhoods in the city. And growing up,
according to you,
it was my experience. Yeah. So I mean, around that neighborhood, there were no, young men. There were only old people and children. All the boys, all the young men.
what I need for you to understand though is that what you grew up witnessing was a policy being implemented that was carrying out a tactic, right? A business was being expanded, right?
With the prison industrial complex.
Yeah, the prison industrial complex. That's a fucking business. That's a corporation. In this state, it's called Corecraft.
Get out of here.
Yeah. They make millions of dollars in profit, bro. Listen, I'm not telling you speculation, right? I was incarcerated for 25 years, okay? They tried to get me to work inside of that corporation in there. I refused. They locked me down. They locked me in my cage 23 hours a day because I would not work in Corecraft. I did not work in the corporation in prison. You understand?
That the fact, what I'm saying, that, in my opinion, there's a lot of black men, young men in jail. You're saying that's propaganda.
No, I'm not saying that it's propaganda that there are a lot of young black males under the criminal justice system in one form or another, right? I'm telling you that it's not because of their criminality. It's because this. No, hear me out. I'm saying that there was a strategy being enacted, right? Unbeknownst to these dudes that involved them, right? That caught them up in it, right? That made them think that they were participating in something. You understand? It was like an operation. How do you trick people? You understand? You get people to come in and facilitate shit, right? So you have.
But it's so funny.
I don't want to say government
you're talking
agents.
Well, COINTELPRO was a government agent.
What I'm trying to say is I don't want to say government agents, right? Some of these people I know personally. You understand? some of the people responsible for major narcotics traffic in New York in the 70s. I know personally. I was there. I was involved in this shit, right? Not on a high level, but I was enough. I was enough to see what I saw.
You talking about crack?
No, there was no crack.
It wasn't cool crack.
Crack didn't exist. This is heroin and cocaine, right? And by the time that I was involved in it, right, there were no white people directly involved in the business that I was involved in.
Well, I mean, the cartels, right? Public
No, there were.
cartels.
Listen, there were no white people directly involved in
So
what
black
I
people
was dealing
control the
with.
drug
This
trafficking in
was
this country?
this was black.
I didn't know that.
This was black from the bullet to the barrel. You
So Where
understand?
did they get the drugs from? Because people always make the argument.
You seen the
that black
movie
people
American
drive
Gangster?
with Denzel Washington? Yeah.
Well, that's the era I grew up in. Okay, I sold that. I sold that dope. I sold that. Right? I don't throw names around. I don't do that. Right? Because that's whack. Right? Some of these people are still my friends. You understand? So I don't talk about people's business when I'm talking serious shit on camera. But what my point to this is that a lot of shit that you hear ain't real. You understand? We got tricked. Plain and simple. We got tricked. You understand? There's no nice way to put that shit. They played us. And the reason they played us is because they could play
This
us.
is back when again, Larry? What?
70s, man.
70s?
70s. This shit started in the 30s and 40s. They started invading. Now that's when the mafia was involved in it. White boys was giving jazz musicians drugs.
Heroin.
You understand? Yeah.
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 Wasn't that
got
the whole reason behind Vietnam?
Listen. See, when I tell people that that Vietnam, that Afghanistan are drug wars, they look at me like I'm stupid, right? I don't have those conversations with black people. You understand? Because black people, they ain't dealing with that like that. You understand? Truthfully speaking, I have those conversations with white dudes, right?
We can have this
That been,
conversation right now.
yeah, that been in the military. You understand? Because the first thing I asked them was, is there a DEA office in Afghanistan? No. What's DEA helicopters doing crashing in Afghanistan? How does the United States know that 92% of the heroin that comes to America and Europe comes from Afghanistan? How do you know 92% of anything goes anywhere and you're the one shipping it?
Right.
You understand?
Unless you're the one shipping.
You're the one shipping the shit.
Right.
Now, what I know is that America has an aging population. What I also know is that the basis of American pharmacology
Yes.
is opiates.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, heroin.
So we talking about the poppy plant.
The poppy
We
plant.
talking about morphine. We talking about codeine. We talking about heroin, oxycodone.
Yeah.
You understand? So
It's big business. It's big
yeah.
business.
So what I'm saying is
aspirin.
exactly. So what Tylenol 3. But what I'm saying is that I understand from that perspective, right? Most people who talk about this, they understand it from the media perspective. There's a war on drugs and it's focused on black people who don't got shit. You understand? I ain't looking at, I'm looking at pharmaceutical companies, right?
Multinational
That
conglomerates.
have the ability to move troops, right? See, these dudes, they can't move no troops, right? But if you threatening the
This is
pipeline,
paramilitary group. Called,
yeah,
I think it's called Black Water or something.
yeah, that's Dick Cheney.
Yeah.
You understand?
So they have their own private army.
That's Halliburton.
Yeah, Halliburton. These fucking corporations have their own private army.
Yeah, they have army. That's where the military go. Who you think? Why do you think the military produces soldiers every generation? Where you think they go? Will they just disappear after they go do service? No, they go work corporations. They go mercenaries for different countries, right? Right now on the continent of Africa, you have I don't want to call them African countries, right? But that's not their names. But countries on the continent of Africa, they have white armies made up of white mercenaries that's in their army, killing black people over there. You have some shit, they sending white people after you. You understand? That's who teaching and all this shit, man. Listen, we have a warped perspective on reality in America because we're on some white and black shit. You
So
understand?
you said it's not a racial thing; it's a class issue.
What I'm saying is that for us, for us
For the smoke.
here in America. They play the poor people in America into some racial shit. You understand? Notice that rich people will hire your black ass and put you in charge of white people. So you know it can't be just race.
It's
It
so
got to
funny
be
because
something
you got-
else going
you got
on.
these people living in the Upper West Side, Upper East Side, having these black people taking care of their own children.
Yeah. Oh, listen, forget about it. Look, white people will hire black women to take care of their babies in a minute because they know black women know how to take care of babies.
Exactly.
You understand? Ain't no mystery to that.
Yeah.
That's been going
And
on
it's
since the
almost-
plantation.
it's almost as if, in my
It used to
opinion-
be our women.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost as if it's like they're trying to, mold the children, think of black
Eh,
people in some
no.
subservient
You
role.
know why? You know why it is? It's not that they want to mold them into thinking black women are in a subservient role.